Convenient. The princess has been excused, and we have a heart container in Link's chest.
Always a nice, solid safety to get in the beginning, especially depending on the weapon which we'll get.
Indeed. Well, the exciting part about this is going to be the exciting part about this is going to be seeing exactly what that weapon is. Being told we didn't get proper introductions in. I'm Fantalis. This is Ari. Joining me on CoComs, and we have a Red Cane.
Yeah, Red Cane's a solid early weapon to get. Might be a bit tough on the magic in the beginning, but it's at least a troll item that we got out of the way early.
An immediate bomb for Files. That is so incredible. Oh, and for Chauncey too. Wow. I was just about to say they're going to have a tough time searching around here for bombs with that Red Cane, but well, it looks like that's not going to be the case. Incredibly lucky.
Looks like a nice, solid escape to cruise through right now.
Yeah, the only tough part left about this is going to be taking out that rat. The stupid back of escape, hanging onto that one key. It's the only real tough part here.
File's getting bullied a little bit.
Well, gonna pick up that 20. That's probably not a bad idea this early in the game. You never know how much money you're going to wind up getting. That's an interesting setup from Chauncey for that one kill of the blue guard. Never seen a setup where you manage to get him to run into the same block 3 times.
Yeah, what I'm used to is just pushing the block into him 3 times while he tries to hit you, but no, that totally seemed to work.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Chauncey's a little bit ahead here, possibly thanks to that. Possibly also thanks to Files running around searching for some cash money. Silver arrows.
That's definitely something nice to pick up early. That'll make some enemies and bosses pretty smooth sailing, as long as they find the bow at some point.
And we'll see, I guess. It's interesting seeing the timing on these runners sort of go forward and backward as they sort of play around with different strats with the Red Cane. I haven't seen a whole lot of Red Cane coming up early on in the game. So seeing people try to strategize with this thing, I think is actually kind of interesting.
That is definitely the beauty about this standard mode, seeing what kind of different strats occur with different weapons. You can definitely see some people being quicker on the uptake than others.
I am really enjoying this Zelda leading Zelda over on the right here. This is...
They must be twins.
Yeah. It's, I like to picture Zelda from the future coming into Zelda's cell and saying, "I'm here from the future," but not in a deep voice like that,
I'm here from the future.
Come with me if you want to live. Oh dear. Not much. Not much in the way of useful items so far. I would say the silver arrows are delayed useful, but and I guess 100 rupees is sort of delayed useful as well. But it would be really nice to see something else they can use immediately to help them out of here.
Yeah, money's always good, but I mean, as long as you get the early bomb, the rest of escape is pretty straightforward. And then we'll see what we get in the back, I guess.
Now, the fortunate thing about the Red Cane compared to the Blue Cane back here is it does not plow through your money or your magic anywhere near as quickly as the other one.
Yeah, it's not as fast as the Blue Cane, but it's definitely safer to get.
Ooh, big 20 in the chest down here. Just that value continues to increase.
I guess we're just plundering all the money from the castle.
Yeah, well, they don't need it. There's been a hostile takeover, from what I understand.
File's about a room ahead, going into the key red right now, and he easily
Wow.
gets it. That's really quick.
That was an impressive snipe. Blind snipe of that rat.
Now we'll get to see what's in the big storage.
God, everything's just dropping money.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Early boots. We got a race here. I mean, we already had a race, but now it's happening.
It's definitely picking up anyway.
That's fantastic. That's going to be an immediate ability to check bonk rocks as they're heading over to Kakariko Village.
Yeah, it also incentivizes you to check Lumberjack Cave at least.
Files with the swag pull there.
And apparently we already have money for Zora if we ever need it.
Yeah, gosh. we are set for cash. All right, what do we got here in these bonk rocks? Oh ho ho ho!
If we didn't have a weapon yet, we certainly do now.
Yeah, okay. So we're heading out of escape. We have 500 rupees. We have a fire rod. We have a red cane. Boy, we're almost set to...
And last but not least, we definitely have the boots already.
Yeah.
Nice bomb pool as well. Some more bombs.
And this is definitely the right choice from Files here. You get the... oh, what was that?
Well, it looked like a green rupee. So apparently we're not killing the wizard for the reward today.
That's fine, though. Definitely, if you have boots coming out of here, check that prize, because there's a much higher chance of it being something useful.
That's some early gloves as well. This seat is opening up really quickly.
Yeah, we are not far away from Aghanim Dark World access. That's what I'm trying to say.
Especially with that.
Okay.
So there's been this discussion of going that V29 definitely has a lot of progression at the Sphere 1 locations, but I've never seen like runner items. This is probably the most Jet City start so far.
If they find another set of gloves in Kakariko Village, if they find those mitts, they don't even have to leave the village. They can just head straight into the Dark World. Or the hammer, yeah.
That's the question, though. Like, if you find the hammer or the mitts here, do you go straight into Dark Kakariko, or do you still do the South Shore first?
Yeah, I'd be pretty spooked with 4 hearts and no sword. Or 5 hearts and no sword.
You got a bucknet to defend yourself, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Swinging around and scare everyone. Sweet. That's what we needed, was more money.
You just stash them in your bank account.
There it is. Perfect. So we got something to defend ourselves that's not, a big old cane.
Yeah, sword is always nice to have, but with that half magic, you shouldn't be scared about running out of it.
Oh, half magic and the fire rod. It's basically time to go to Swamp or Skull Woods.
The bottle salesman selling a piece of his heart.
What a guy. Oh, watch out, chickens.
Just sharing a bit of his love.
Stealing the old woman's savings from the back of her house. She tried to protect it as best she could, but these runners are ruthless.
That's a hard times.
And the stock in the back of the bar. I have the feeling the Kakariko village economy is about to be extremely upset.
Yeah, with as little as they had compared to what was found in the castle. Yeah.
Of course, leave the 20 in the library. That's good thinking. If anybody could use some money, it's the library.
We need to think of the education, of course.
Exactly. So, a 5-bomb upgrade in the Kakariko maze, not particularly useful. So we're going to see our runners head out there. What they do next is going to be interesting, although I suspect it's going to be both of them heading down here to the swamp area.
Yeah, it's definitely the logical progression. Just high density, high chance of progression, if they even need more. But we're mostly looking for like the hammer or the mitts right now, it seems like.
Yeah, this stuff that we get very early on in the game is going to be incredibly important. It's going to be shaping exactly how our runners figure the rest of this seed out. And hey, having a ton of health to do it with isn't too bad.
Yeah, considering we had 4 hearts coming into Kakariko, it's looking pretty good right now.
Ooh. There's an interesting find.
One file's going to Agina. Now that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice.
So we got a little bit of early divergence here. I don't really mind the Agina check. Especially with the boots, it's a lot quicker than without them, obviously. But
I think absolutely with the boots.
Not paying out this time, though.
Oh, well. Just to answer the question from chat, this is Fantalis here. And
I'm Arier.
What do we got in Mini Moldorm? More health. Nice.
More money. Well, this is not the Mini Moldorm hype cave that I'm used to.
Yeah, that was a little tiny bit of a downer.
But I guess that's to be expected of everything we got in Kakariko so far.
Yeah, really. Big question I'm wondering from both of our runners is, are they going to attempt to fake Flipper?
With the amount of money that they have and having the Moon Pearl, I would expect that they will.
Yeah, they've got the cash for a whole bunch of fake Flippers checks. It's just a question of whether or not they think that's the right idea. Honestly, after seeing the garbage that was in Mini Moldorm Cave, that's what I'd be thinking. And that garbage too.
Yeah, the South Shore is definitely not paying out.
No.
But it looks like CJ is going to do the fake Flipper stuff. So probably going to... look. The water walk. It's nice. Probably doing hobo stuff and then going on towards the waterfall ferry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even going to hobo. Interesting.
All right, what do you got, bud? Quarter heart and the Quake Medallion. That is an interesting find.
Yeah, I would assume that Falls finds those as well, but we'll see if we actually need Quake.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. The Zora ledge is just 10 arrows, so fortunately this is going to be our first and only trip back here.
Files seeing the bottle on Lake Alia as well, but he does go to
Oh, come on. That is the worst possible life lesson you can get.
That's a bad return investment.
Speaking of bad return on investment. So I guess skipping that hobo was the right idea after all.
That doesn't leave a whole lot left, though. I guess we have the mushroom, so that would mean no fake powder at this moment, or the eastern area with Sahasrara.
My money's on that mushroom.
Yeah, those fetch quests certainly seem to have a knack of locking out progression lately.
It just, God, if at all, double. Oh, come on. Well, never mind.
Oh, and he is actually resetting, trying to keep the mushroom. That's a good shot. That's a good call.
Yeah, that's smart. Don't get rid of that mushroom in case he gets the fake powder later on. So I guess eastern area is the play, unfortunately. I mean,
Yeah, there's not much else in logic right now. You could sequence break up to Death Mountain, but even that's only 2 items.
yeah, it's 2 items, and there is no guarantee that either of them are useful right now. Whereas we know that we have to find something useful over here because this is the last possible place we can look for progression.
The main question is, what do you expect to get at this point? Is it the hammer or the mitts, or will it actually just be a lamp?
Or a shovel.
Ah, there's
Yeah,
the hammer.
okay, there we go.
Okay, so there we go,
Okay.
a Dark World Axis.
I was about to say, are we going to have to go on a ridiculous fetch quest to...
Oh, both our Fat Fairy crystals are in Eastern and Desert. That's nice.
Yep, and Tower of Hera possibly not required. So here's another possible breaking point. Chauncyjay is opting to go all the way into Eastern Palace, whereas Files hasn't had the opportunity to make that decision yet. We have a Thieves Town green pendant. I hate seeing that.
Yeah, you never want to see Thieves Town being a pendant, especially considering it's so easy to get to and clear.
Yeah. But now there's this little thing in the back of your mind saying, do I really want to go in there?
I mean, it being a green pendant definitely would encourage me to full clear it.
Yeah, more so than if it was one of the other ones. So Chauncyjay opts to go into Eastern. Files is leaving.
Yeah, Files
So this is interesting.
trying to avoid the double dip. Well, Chauncyjay just hopes to find another piece of progression that could open up the world a bit more for him.
Finding a map and a compass so far.
That doesn't bode all too well. That guarantees an item on the Armos Knights.
Yeah, unfortunately. So Files is going to be our first player into the Dark World. Looks like he's taking the south route, probably going to go check Hype Cave, which may or may not be hype. Hopefully slightly more hype than the terrible... Okay, so Swamp is our other pendant. If I'm perfectly honest, these are pendants I don't like to see. I don't like to see Swamp pendant because there's so much stuff in there. I don't like to see Thieves pendant because it'd be so easy to get in and out of there. I don't like to see Tower of Hera because that trip up Death Mountain is a... Oh, there's our lantern.
Alright. Well, that makes Dark Rooms basically a non-factor at this point. Because I assume that Chauncyjay will go into Hype Cave soon enough as well, after this Eastern Palace dip. But yeah, I agree. Swamp Palace is not a nice pendant to see. Because, in all honesty, it being a pendant means you don't want to see the flippers, because that means you might need to go in there. Then there's always a chance that, well, there's just nothing in there.
Yeah, if you wind up seeing flippers and mirror, the odds that you're going to have to pop yourself into there are honestly pretty high.
But it all takes so long to get through.
Yeah. Oh, and what if it's on left side? Bit of a bust from Eastern Palace. So it looks like popping into the Dark World was the right decision here.
Yeah, it sure was. Then again, it is nice not having all those chests in Eastern Palace being on the back of your mind.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, so it looks like we're having another possible diversion here. Files decided to take the south route first, but Chauncey's going straight into Village of Outcasts and possibly doing Skull Woods as well. Since they both have the Fire Rod, they've both got almost a full row of hearts. They've both got the hammer. Mothula, if you know what you're doing, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with this play. A lot of people say that if you have gloves and hammer, you should just check Hive Cave as the first thing you do in the Dark World. But being able to go through from Skullwoods to Thiefstown to South Loop of the Dark World into Hive Cave doesn't really feel like the worst idea.
Well, I think we're going to see the play in there by both of them. So
Not sure if that was a voluntary fall by CJ here.
Well, it's not the worst.
This route definitely makes sense. Files not having to deal with the mummies, just being able to put the Grain of Samaria down there.
So this is actually interesting. If the other item in Skull Woods winds up being in the back of Skull Woods, then Chauncey is unfortunately going to spend some time running around here in the front without finding a whole lot.
Yeah, he did find the other item being the piece of heart
he
in the
did?
front.
Oh. Well, maybe I'm just not very observant. Oh.
That was a close one.
My heart skipped a beat there. I was like, oh no.
That's definitely not a place where you want to get grabbed.
No, that entrance is the worst possible one to get grabbed in. So you're like, oh, well, now I'm back here.
Files finding the big key on the bottom there.
Oh, that's unfortunate, actually, because that's going to wind up... I think Files is overall going to wind up spending more time over here. Because
if the second... I'm not sure an item already, but if the second item is in the big chest, I guess he'll save a little bit of time.
opting to pick up that hidden full magic refill. I don't really disagree with that. You definitely want to have full magic going into the moth fight if you have no bottle.
Yeah, you definitely want as much as you can.
All right, let's see how Files does with this. Oh.
Nice dodging and weaving right there.
I think he's got it. One more, I think.
Should be 8 hits. Yeah, there we go. Really clean.
I don't know how to count. A compass for his troubles, but that is a crystal.
And that's the first crystal of the game. That's not bad at 24 minutes in.
Yeah, and it has to feel good getting the Skull Woods crystal in that early. I know for a lot of players, an early moth fight is kind of nerve-wracking.
It can certainly be treacherous with just a fighter sword. Alright, now for Chauncey.
Ooh.
Got some nice patterns early on. Nice.
A little bit of face tanking, but it worked.
Health is a resource. If you have it, you got to use it.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is, where to go next?
I think with your current items, you just try to get through the village of outcasts. Maybe just clear Thief's Town if you can.
I'm curious. It's going to be a question of whether or not our runners decide to head into Thieves Town or not.
I think with the hammer you can full clear it, so it seems a bit greedy not to. What else are you going to do aside from some overworld checks? Quick bumper cave check, that's not bad.
All right. Well, whatever we find back here in Village of Outcasts is going to determine where we go next, because we already know what's on the south route. It's not a whole lot of usefulness to us.
Did Files check the rest of the south loop, or did he just check Hive Cave? I don't remember.
He managed to make it all the way to the digging game.
Oh right, yeah, he did pick up the piece of heart there. You're right.
Well, we have a set of blue mail. That's convenient, but
Yeah, blue mail is always nice to have.
I think at this point, I think at this point, our progression is probably going to, I mean, if it's not one of those 2 items on Death Mountain, and if it's not in Pod, it's probably going to be living in Thieves Town there.
Yeah, it's either Thief's Town, Pyramid, or Catfish at this point. Or Pod, obviously. Wow, those are some nice digs.
Yeah.
Just preparing for the digging game.
Incredibly convenient. He's going to be unfortunately a little bit disappointed taking this route, because we know the only thing that's down here is that lamp.
Yeah, so I guess he's just hoping to get some extra money as well, so he can at least enter Pod once he's ready for that.
No, that is a good point. I don't recall if we found a whole lot of money down this route. It might have been a couple of quarter hearts inside the quote-unquote hype cave.
Yeah, sure. Wasn't much. Maybe like a full heart or 2 actually, because I do remember Falls having a bit more health.
Not sure it's going to bring him up to 110, which is what he needs to get into Pod. If that's where he's planning on going.
It's just a little bit of love, a bomb bag, and a big 20, so you might have to do some more digging.
Well, the most we're going to be able to check back here is Pyramid and Catfish. So without that cash, can't pay Kiki the monkey. Can't make your way into Palace of Darkness.
Just some more love there. Yeah, it does seem to be either pod or feast down at this rate.
Oh, looks like
I
he is
wonder
going
if
to
he's going
try
to
and risk
realize.
it. I mean, he must know how much money he had, because he had to dig some to do the digging game.
Sometimes your mind just blanks. It happens.
Yeah, that's true.
It won't be the first runner, and it won't be the last.
Oh dear.
He knows.
Oh, you can't dig out here. Ugh. Well, now it's going to be 120 because
It's going to get him again. I haven't seen the Monkey Wall tour yet, to be honest. I'm not even sure how far you can bring him.
I honestly don't either.
Oh, okay, just this.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Well, the half lucky, half unfortunate thing, right? Well, actually, no. This can't be 100 rupees, right? Because there's only one set of 100 rupees in the game. If I remember my list of items correctly.
I am not sure, actually. I think there are like 300s, but I'm not sure about the amount of 100s. And I know we've seen at least one of those already.
All right, what do we got?
That's certainly not one. But he is picking it up.
Oh boy. These fish people are really stingy in this seed.
That's 2 blue rupees we got from the water creatures here. Oh, we do have the shovel. Let's see what that brings.
Oh, that's right. We haven't seen this yet. Thanks, no mirror. Okay, well, either we are taking a very brief trip up Death Mountain, or we have to head to Thieves Town or Pod, basically.
Those certainly look like the options right now.
Yeah, grab that 20.
There's another 20 in the library if he needs it.
Oh my goodness, he's gonna take it.
Oh, he isn't.
Oh,
he
no.
isn't.
No. Rob the library.
Our last savings.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, the fake powder. Let's see what that brings us.
Well, this is going to take a while to drain his magic. Oh, that's right. They have the... Okay.
Yeah, doing that with either the lamp or the cane is not the most efficient way.
Yeah, half magic with lamp.
Mash that Y button.
There we go. Possibly just a tiny bit late there.
And there we go. More money that he desperately needed.
You know what? When you're strapped for cash...
So I guess Feastdown is going to be his next play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he doesn't have much of a choice, honestly.
No, not at all.
This is... You can run around searching for cash for a bit, but... Well, just the way this has been playing them, I'd be willing to bet that actual progression is sitting somewhere up stupid on Death Mountain. And this is all just junk.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I actually completely forgot that it wasn't logic now with the lamp.
Actually, my actual guess is that Chauncey's original thought to go to Palace of Darkness is correct, and the complete poverty of this seed is an unfortunate situation that's kind of forced this play.
Yeah, on the other hand, Feast on never really is a bad play. You're forgetting about a chest right there, buddy.
Oh,
That would be unfortunate.
killing me.
Yeah, you might definitely want to find that one.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed progression, but you might need it along the way for Mire or Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so we're up to 2 pendants that we don't particularly know their usefulness status of.
Of course, we still need the mitts and the flute, but
yeah, this is the big thing: is we are missing a lot of progression just to open up a lot of places for us.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes we were like bombarded with progression, but after Kakariko it all dried out. Well, Sahad, I guess, but still.
Yeah, well, thanks V29, I guess.
Yeah, it still seems to be pretty typical at this point.
That just means you have to use your head a little bit more. You can't just get all these linear seeds that keep funneling you into certain spots.
Yeah, it's all about finding that critical piece at one point, and then proceeding from there.
Not it. Finally, 110.
Back to pot it is. He does need to be careful though with that single heart. He could always try to fake powder again with the anti-fairy right in the hallway.
That would be an impressive move to pull off if I've ever seen one.
He doesn't seem to do it.
No.
So back to being careful.
You would have to be very confident in your ability to fake powder to pull that off with 1 half heart.
There is a few pots here that he might be able to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 on the...
Ooh, just in time as well.
Yeah, the 2 on the right always have hearts in them.
This always
he could attempt to fake... Oh, I think he's going to do it. He's going to fake powder that pot.
That's really good heads up play.
That is a smart move.
This one is definitely a lot safer than the one in the hallway, but a bit trickier to get here, I guess.
Oh, all right. Well, Blind's hanging on to something. Blind's technically hanging on to 2 things.
Yeah, this also lines up well. After he gets the green pendant, he can go to Saha first, and then go back into the Dark World to go to pot. And there should be a decent buffer in order to finish blind.
I hate doing this with Fighter's Sword. I find my positioning is just a little bit off.
Yeah, it definitely is a little bit shorter, so the second phase sometimes doesn't work out that well. Just another bomb back, so
Okay.
it does seem we need to be in the eastern side of the map right now.
So the only thing we really found in here was that ether medallion. We don't know whether or not that's useful yet.
All right. Oh, this does look like a quick death mountain check.
Interesting. It's not. It's not what I would have done. But I mean, I guess the thought must be like if you can manage to not double dip Palace of Darkness.
Chauncyjay also did not dip eastern, did he? He was the one who went into... No way.
I cannot precisely recall.
Now I think I'm mixing up the two plays here.
It was definitely one of them.
But yeah, it's nice if you can find the bow here and be able to just single dip pod. Okay, so Chauncyjay did do EP, and File skipped and did the Hype Cave first. That's what happened.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is...
Come on.
This unlocks the entire mountain, aside from the dark part.
That was the play?
Obviously, I mean, in a way, checking Death Mountain isn't bad because you unlock the save point anyway.
Obviously.
It always feels bad if you go all the way up to Death Mountain, save the old man, get something, check Spectacle Rock, and it's nothing. But it's never really bad considering you have to do it at some point anyway. And you only lose like half a minute going back up to the warp if you need to.
So, at some point along the way here, Files has managed to make his way into Misery Mire.
And considering he has the hookshot as well, he went onto Death Mountain a little bit earlier.
Yeah, he must have went.
He found a Master Sword as well.
Well, clearly, he would probably have not run into that same problem. I don't think he's ever gone to Zora. I don't think he would have run into the same problem as Chauncyjay did.
Right. He also has the flute, obviously. So I guess all of this is on Death Mountain.
Yeah, we must be about to find it up here. And he must have the Titan's Mints as well. It sounds like we're about to find a ton of stuff here up on Death Mountain. And that obviously Old Man was the play, because why wouldn't it be?
Also, he did have Ether, so he did do a quick feast on it.
Yeah, there's that Master Sword.
And there's the Mints.
Okay. This all makes sense now.
So Chauncyjay is just being nice enough to give us a quick rundown on what Files just did while he was away.
Excuse me.
No worries, that happens.
I tried to mute the mic, but buttons are hard. Okay, so presumably at some point up here we're going to find the flute. My question is that flute in Dark Death Mountain or is it in Tower of Hera?
Oh, hello.
Speaking of things that exist on this mountain.
That's a nasty place for the boat to be.
Yeah. I get the feeling that this seed is going to have intentionally sent them up Death Mountain without, not intentionally. I'm not going to guess at the intent of a computer. But forced them up Death Mountain without a mirror just to get the stuff required to find the mirror.
What I'm mostly wondering about now is what dungeons Files did. I didn't manage to take a gander at his menu. Oh, right there. He did finish Feast Town. He didn't finish Hera, it seems like.
Okay. So that means likely we're going to find that flute in Dark Death Mountain somewhere.
Yeah, or Moldorm didn't have an item. So both items are right here. That's possible, I guess.
And that's also a good point.
Files is on his way to Vitrius, so that's gonna be a pretty tough fight with just a Master Sword and no bow.
Well, that is both items.
And CJ is heading up to Moldorm.
So, somewhere up there on Dark Death Mountain.
Moldorm said no.
So we got a big couple of remaining questions here. One, of course, is what is that medallion requirement for Turtle Rock? But also, where's the mirror and where are the flippers?
Yeah. And there's still the question of the ice rod that can definitely shake things around as well.
Yeah.
But those are pretty much the items that we need at this point.
It's entirely possible that we could see a rough required double dip into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Files going with the burnout stress. It's a bit laggy, but it's very safe, especially with half magic. CJ has taken a few falls to Moldorm, of which one in the middle hole. That's pretty rough. But he's going at it again.
Yeah, Vitrius is pretty spooky if all you've got is Master Sword and no bow.
Yeah, especially this last phase here. It can take a while. Playing a bit of squash. But he does get it.
Just a 5-arrow upgrade, unfortunately. Look at that sync
And the
catch.
synchronized catch, yeah, very nice. This does beg the question of about what Files didn't do. So I would assume that he hasn't done the pyramid and catfish yet, because he has cleared all of Death Mountain apparently.
Looks, according to the tracker, that Thieves Town got completed at some point.
Going back to the... he's fisting the Sicket. Right, he did find a bottle.
That's right. Brand new bottle. For a lovely blue boomerang.
Stealing children's toys, unacceptable.
So in that case, File's thinking, like, he's got to be edging closer and closer to dip into Turtle Rock. That may be what he's thinking right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can clear everything aside from Trinex himself with the items that we have. So it's not a bad play. You want to avoid double dips if you can, but there's a healthy chunk of items.
There is. I'm deeply curious about whether or not this is going to be a forced double dip.
I just hope that Mimic Cave is not going to cause him any troubles.
You never know. This could be a forced triple dip. If we have to dip in to get the flippers, so that we can go back and then go into Mimic Cave to get something, so that we can leave and get the ice rod. You never know.
Yeah, you definitely never know.
So it is ether.
Okay, so that means that we have all the medallions that we need. That's reassuring.
It does mean that that dip into Thieves Town was indeed required.
Yeah, we don't know yet if the green pendant gave us anything, though, so it might just be the first 4 that were important.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
So
there's the few.
Chauncey, I was about to say, if Chauncey decides to head into Turtle Rock, this might be good for him, and it looks like... No,
He
never mind.
can't get there right now without the mirror, though. He will have to save and quit first.
Yeah, you are right.
He is going into Spike Cave. I don't think he has safeties, so 13 hearts might be tricky. It is definitely possible, though, with a nice damage boost from the bomb.
No. This is going to be tight.
He is gonna make it, yeah. Just another big bomb bag. There's the ice rod.
Oh.
Okay. That...
Come on.
Oh, this certainly is not a new thing. This has happened before, and it will happen again, but...
No. I mean, the one lucky thing is that this seed does seem to be railroading them straight into Turtle Rock, so it's not like it's going to take forever for Chauncey to find his way into there. But still, you hold your breath thinking, is it actually going to be in here?
Yeah. So, with that ice rod, logically we need the flippers and the mirror. But if we find the mirror, we can get the bow and fake flipper into ice, so we never need to enter Swamp Palace.
Right.
So I guess all we're looking for right now is the mirror to enter Go, like virtual Go mode.
Yeah, because we do already know where that bow is. That's right. If we find the mirror as well, that's access to Desert Palace. So that's it. So I guess that means we unfortunately, or fortunately for these runners, I suppose, we won't be having a dip into Swamp Palace today, most likely.
Yeah, I don't see us heading into there.
Which is too bad because it's such a great time.
Everyone likes to take a quick dip.
Absolutely.
But yeah, considering that, we will have quite a few locations where we can find the mirror. Could be just in TR, could be in Pod. There's Ice Palace, probably, if the flippers are not locked behind the mirror. But I think it's either that or the Smith route that
I think we
still have not checked.
Yeah. I think we got to find progression here. I think, as is tradition, that it's going to be on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. But we already had the ice rod here, so... The bow is on the floating island on Death Mountain. So that's what we actually need the mirror for.
Yeah, which is the nice thing if it's actually here, is that you can just pop right out and grab the bow, and then you're in go mode. Technically, not logically, but
Who needs slippers?
nobody.
So we're looking at what's in Laser Bridge right now.
I'm waiting with bated breath. What is in this fourth chest?
Death and destruction.
I don't think it's anything that bad. Gosh, I hate that beetle. What's he doing there? What's his problem?
Final's a little bit agitated. Just a big 20.
Oh, come on.
Like, could still be Trinex.
You know what's going to happen is it's going to be Book.
Oh, please no. Then you gotta save and quit. Go back all the way onto Death Mountain to via the east side, then hammer your way to the left side and go to Ether Tablet. That's great times. Ether Tablet is one of the worst places for the mirror to be honest.
It is. It is a literal hike up a mountain.
So Master Sword, Trinex, not the most fun thing to do, but at least you have the hammer to help you out. He's switching up the damage a bit.
That's interesting. Trying to keep that. Trying to keep away the ice.
Yeah, the fight does get a lot tougher once he does spout out his eyes, but he does need to be careful. He only has one heart left.
Yeah, this is not good. Oh,
He doesn't
I
have
do
fair,
not-
does he?
I don't remember.
No, he doesn't.
Nope. Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough fight.
Yeah, that, and oh yeah, it is a very versatile head. That and Vitreous are probably the two worst fights to not have Tempered Sword for.
Yeah, I agree.
Just a long old slog. I mean, Ganon is long, but it's not overly difficult.
Yeah, as long as you play it safe, it just takes a while. It's the same with Argus. He's just annoying, but
Yeah.
not overly difficult. But yeah, Vitreous and Trinex just utterly obliterate you if they want to. At least he had the big chest entrance and not just the main entrance. That does save a bit of time. But he does have enough faith in himself to not have to take the laser bridge exit. Nice cane dash right there.
Yeah, I think at this point you're in a tournament match. You're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I just took a death on Trinex. There is no way you're wasting any more time." Oh, it's a bee. Unleash that bee. You can take it at Trinex with a bee, right?
Yeah, if only you could do the same thing as you can do with blind. Just unleash a bee and carry away one of the heads.
Yeah. Fortunately, if I remember my Pokemon well, I don't think bee works well against rock types.
Yeah, I mean, that's so unfair, right? He has 3 types: rock, fire, and ice.
Yeah. You're not allowed to do that. It's cheating.
Nice hammer damage.
All right.
Alright, he does get him now, and let's see what the last item is. At least I think there's still another item in here.
There has to be at the. Oh.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well, I was wrong about being railroaded into Turtle Rock. You might be sent there at some point, but it's going to be nothing but disappointment.
At least Files must feel pretty nice that he did find the ice rod in there. That might be
Yeah.
a little bit of a tough point for Chauncey once he wants to go into TR, but doesn't have the ice rod yet.
Absolutely true. It's going to be curious to see how long Chauncey decides to wait or dig around in the overworld looking for that ice rod.
And Chauncey's going into the Vitreous fight right now. Let's see how that will go. He does only have 2 hearts, but with the blue cane, he should have about the same
Full
fight
half
as
magic.
Files did.
I'm surprised none of them are using dash, although I'm not entirely sure if faster or slower with the blue cane.
With the blue cane and Master Sword, I think it's faster to just keep a good rhythm and slash, because they will converge at one point.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh. This might be risky.
Ooh, don't hold that poke out with the Master Sword there. He will go straight through you. Oh no. Oh no, that Vitreous deaths are really costly.
Oh dear. Yeah, if there's one spot you don't want to have to run all the way, it is all the way back down to the basement to fight Vitreous again.
Yeah, bosses have been a bit of a rough point for the 2 runners.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chauncey had the opportunity to make up a little bit of time that was lost hunting around for 110 rupees to get into pod, but it seems to have disappeared out the window.
Yeah, he had a few unfortunate Moldorm falls as well.
Yeah. You know, at this point, I'm suspecting what we're going to see is a forced double dip into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, either of the 2 options are not very pleasant.
No.
Because it's probably either the blacksmith route, which you really don't want to have to save and quit for and walk them all the way, or it's going to be pod, which will be a required double dip in that case. It's not hammer pegs.
No. This is absolutely unquestionably the biggest troll of this seed is where on earth is that mirror?
Yeah, the rest of the seed has been pretty, I guess, straightforward. It's not been super nice or super trolly. It's just been a seed.
The hookshot location was a little rough, but at least it was early on enough that you kind of got sent there anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't like the entire world was open without the mids.
No, just because of how many things were locked behind that. But this mirror...
Yeah, the mirror... At least looking for the mirror is better than just getting the mirror and having a lot of single locations, but there's still quite a few spots where it could be that you don't want it to be.
Right, blacksmith. Nope.
Pay 10 and get 20.
Oh, this is alongside the ether tablet. If it is indeed in the purple chest, this is the other worst possible place it could be.
I agree.
Mirror in purple chest is just mean.
Well, Files hasn't done the digging spot either. Nice dig dash.
Beautiful rhythm.
Second fight going very nice. And he gets his crystal as well.
All right, Files, where are you going? Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. This is not that bad of an idea, honestly.
Oh, banking on the fact that the mirror is locked behind the flippers is not the worst idea.
No, because we don't, like at this point, we don't know which of those two things we're looking for to unlock progression.
Yeah, one can definitely lead to the other.
Or book. I'm trying not to say it too much so that it doesn't come true.
Yeah, I think the book is definitely the last thing they want to see in here. I don't think we've seen the green pendant check yet either.
No, I don't think so. It's without the mirror, it's kind of difficult to justify taking that trip.
Yeah, that's a good point. On the other hand, if you delay the turn in of the green pendant, it will just never happen. I would say that if you get the green pendant, just try to get it in as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just feels like you're losing value over the time.
It's even easy to forget that you have it.
Exactly. That's a very good point as well.
Would not be the first time I've seen runners get an early Thieves Town green pendant and then later on just completely forget that's a thing. So I guess we're about to figure out which of these two gambles is the one that pays off.
Yeah, I think Chauncyjay actually does not have the knowledge yet that Mirror is Virtual Go mode, because he doesn't know about the Ice Rod in Turtle Rock yet. But Files definitely should have it in the back of his mind right now. The last thing he needs is the mirror.
You are right.
Because logically we do need the flippers, of course, but considering Swamp Palace is a pendant, we don't actually need it in order to beat the game. And we know that the bow is locked behind the mirror, so that's why we know we just need the mirror. Just 3 bombs there in the chest and IP.
Files is up to not to do the bomb jump here, which if the classic Ice Palace bomb jump, which if you've got that red cane and you've got the hook shot and you're planning on full clearing this place anyway, is probably the thing to do.
Yeah, especially with the cane, it's not the worst idea, considering it makes a possible routing a lot faster than having to fall down and climb all the way back up. It's just an automatic thing that a lot of runners like to do, just as a standard. I think we found 2 items in IP right now, right?
Yeah, and both of them were junk.
The dungeon just teasing Files a little bit more.
Yeah, this is that part that not doing the Ice Palace bomb jump makes a little bit easier, is coming over here and getting to the iced tea room.
Yeah, it saves quite a few screen transitions.
Oh dear. That's this little snaky shaped ice room is a simple room until you get caught on one of those corners, and then it's the worst.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Chauncyjay did find the mirror right in the Dark Maze and Pod. So
He did indeed. Yeah, sorry, commentators are asleep. I was intensely watching this play into Ice Palace, wondering how that was going to turn out. No, indeedly do. we have a required double dip into Palace of Darkness, unfortunately.
So we have the one big question. After Chauncyjay inevitably picks up his bow, will he dive into pod and find the ice rod for go mode? That will pretty much just alter the course of the entire race right now.
That is a good question because, unfortunately, that mirror opens up a bunch of locations. And see, unfortunately, if I was Chauncey in this situation, this is kind of rough because, of course, you full clear Desert Palace and Eastern and Palace of Darkness and Ice Palace first.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tempting thing to do right after you pick up the bow. Then again, Turtle Rock is so close.
It is right there, but I mean, why do you go in it if you don't have the ice rod? But in this one specific situation, it's unfortunately the right play.
Definitely. He is going to open it up, so he's going to tease us just a little bit.
Is this happening?
This is going to be the huge breaking point of the race.
Is this actually going to happen?
Well, he's definitely going to pick up the bow first, right?
Oh, man,
so in about
needles.
40, 50 seconds, I guess we'll know.
Oh, this could be a massive gamble that makes the game for Chauncey.
And Files is like, it's only a matter of time before he heads into the right direction. I actually think he's going into like to Sahasrara and then to pod as well. He only has so many locations left before he has to go into pod.
Now that we know that pod is the bottleneck.
No, he's definitely going. That's rough.
Well, unfortunately, I think we are seeing the beginning of what is going to be a series of full clear dungeons by Chauncey, hunting for that ice rod.
All we can hope for is that he does not find the flippers. Files does not seem to go into Palace of Darkness yet, though. I think he...
Oh, that's interesting.
What is he doing, actually? Picking up the purple chest? Yeah, probably.
Well, double, unfortunately. I'm certain at some point during this trip, Chauncey's going to pick up those flippers.
Yeah, again, there's only so many locations where they can be, right?
Yeah, and at some point, the seed has to say, okay, it's time for Ice Palace. Yeah, double unfortunate is that is exactly what you want to see in a Gomo Desert Palace.
Yeah.
Is that big key sitting on that torch.
And go straight out. Oh, there's a Bombos. And the purple chest. Not something we need, but big menuing a little bit easier as well.
Yeah, the one possible nice thing that could happen at this point is finding a sword upgrade somewhere along this trip.
Yeah, that might even up thing. Oh, there we go.
Almost immediately.
I mean, that's just the last incentive you need to not go into Turtle Rock, right? Every other dungeon is just full clearable at this point.
That is unfortunate. Just some bombs, so not much else of use here. I guess the one fortunate thing here is the second dip into Palace of Darkness is going to be very brief.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I'm actually, like, to be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure who can be said to be ahead here, because I think Files is current. Oh, no, never mind. I spoke a little bit too soon. I was about to say Files seems to be on the way to find Mirror, but not quite yet, unfortunately. So, Chauncey, for him, it's just a matter of full clearing all and eventually finding way into Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
For Files, it's like, how soon is that mirror going to show up? Because the moment it does, Files knows he's in go mode.
Yeah. The issue right now is that Files just has so few locations left before he is forced into Palace of Darkness, while Chauncey's has the entire world open to him. He can finish Eastern, Desert, Pod, Swamp Palace, Ice Palace. He can do whatever he wants and not find the Ice Rod. That's just sitting right there in Turtle Rock. And Files just without the mirror, there are so many one-off locations that are not open to him, and yeah, he's inevitably going to find the mirror sooner than the last location, Ice Rod, for Chauncey, probably.
Speaking of which, I think this is it. I think this is the trip in a pod.
I think he exhausted all his options by now. And this is obviously not to blame Chauncey at all. I mean, he's making very reasonable plays based on the knowledge that he has right now and the items that he has. It's just fortunate or unfortunate that Files went into TR when he saw the opportunity to in his Death Mountain trip and found the Ice Rod right there.
Yeah, I think there have been a few horribly positioned things in this seed, one of which is that Ice Rod, another of which is that mirror, and then the hook shot, the position of all of those things. And quite possibly, it's going to wind up being the position of those flippers as well. Because they're all accumulating into this horrible sort of ball of garbage.
Yeah, the fact that via the mirror, Chauncey also found the flippers just compounded into one huge problem for him.
Yeah, it's funny. In this game of Randomizer, finding things can sometimes be just as bad as not finding things.
Yeah, sometimes the order in which you find certain items just completely destroys whatever you want to happen in the seed.
Well, we got both runners in pod now. One off to kill Helmasaur King, and the other one off to find an unfortunate piece of news.
Yeah, I think Files will be back into this dungeon relatively soon. Yeah, I think that Files is also experienced enough to... Oh, where is he going, actually?
Yeah, this
Oh, he doesn't have a small key. He doesn't have a small key. He needs to pick one up in the front. But
Yeah.
I was about to say that he is probably experienced enough to not need Tempered Sword in order to beat Ganon. Because that might be a small point. As long as Chauncyjay continues clearing, he might find a Tempered or Gold Sword at some point, which gives him, a very tiny way to even things up.
True. Yeah, I find front of Palace of Darkness logic to be a little bit confusing.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of tricky to know which small keys lock other small keys and how the exact key logic works.
Yeah, trying to count keys and make sure you've got enough to actually make it to the back, and then
I think the assumption is that there is always 4 keys in the front in some certain order. There he is.
Our mirror.
And he's not happy.
No.
You could
Very
say he's
unhappy about
taking
that.
it pretty lightly here.
Listen, Files, I wouldn't hang around there for. You may actually be in the lead here. That's
I guess he assumes that Chauncey did go into TR when he could. But he does have a sizable lead right here with that find. I mean, that's kind of the issue, right? Once you know that the bow is locked behind the mirror, you don't want to go into a dungeon that you usually need the bow for it to clear. Sometimes knowledge is a burden.
mhm.
But yeah, with that mirror find and him picking up the bow, we can say that Files just entered go mode.
Officially, because somehow, boy, who knows, Ice Palace appears to already be complete despite no flippers.
Yeah, and with Swamp Palace being one of the 3 pendants, we don't actually need to clear it.
It's weird how that happens. We will probably see him running around to check a few more chests. Attempting to get
I would assume
tempered.
that yeah, I agree. I would assume that he goes into a few easily accessible locations to try to find another sword. Of course, there's a pretty good chance that one of them is in GT, but you never know.
Yeah, it's going to be few, if any. That Igor is a little aggressive. All right. Well, at 123, we have go mode for one of our runners. It's just going to be a matter of go moding not great dungeons to go mode. Being able to go mode Ice Palace would have been nice. Go mode Palace of Darkness is not going to make much of a difference for these runs, given the position of the mirror.
No, Files will have to go for the right side to pick up an extra key, I think, because he used the last one that he picked up in the front in order to get the mirror. Yeah, Eastern is just... he did... Wait, I keep mixing it up who already went into Eastern and who didn't. I'm really sorry for that.
Well, somebody on the left side here definitely went into Eastern.
Yeah, he cleared it even. So he might go and check Fat Fairy right now. Ice Rod was on the right side with the Fire Rod locked parts of TR.
Oh, that's right. Sick kid with the disappointment.
Files getting bullied around a bit by the BMOs.
Oh, those are the worst.
Yeah, this does look like a quick Fat Fairy check.
Which from Chauncey's point of view is not a bad idea, but fortunately, the more overworld checks Chauncey decides to do, the more he's going to start falling behind.
Yeah, the worst part is that these are completely reasonable decisions he's making. They're just not working out.
you don't managing to make it all the way to Laser Bridge without the ice rod and not finding the ice rod there is incredibly disheartening. And you don't want to get into that situation, so you put off Ice Rodless Turtle Rock for as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, especially once you only need to have 2 more crystals. You want to do Ice Palace before finishing Turtle Rock because you can immediately go straight to GT.
Right. One fewer trip up Death Mountain.
And Fat Fairy not delivering at all.
Not even a sword upgrade. What good are you, honestly?
So I expect Ice Palace right now, and then probably the last few mirror checks to make sure that the Ice Rod is definitely not on the overworld before he enters Turtle Rock for the Ice Rod.
Yeah, I think that's... Actually, this might be a hobo check. I don't
Picking
think
up
that's
a
right.
single arrow.
Because Chauncey did the water walk originally and didn't head up to Hobo.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh! Oh, that's so mean! Don't do that. What a jerk.
These archers have been trained pretty well.
Well, at least he's not in a fake flipper situation where one of those hits would have been fatal.
No, that would have been pretty bad. Alright, so here's the Ice Palace clear from Chauncey. Going to pick up his 6th crystal. While Files is actually also going to pick up his 6th crystal pretty soon.
Well, I'm curious to see how long it's going to take Files to get out of here compared to, or get out of both here and Eastern compared to how long it's going to take Chauncey to full clear Ice Palace. But regardless, either way, there's still, unfortunately, a full clear of Turtle Rock left on Chauncey's side.
Yeah.
And the question of how soon it's going to be before he gets in there.
It might be that after not finding it here, he just feels like he needs to gamble and just hope it is in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think in a tournament match, if you're 130 in and you're not in go mode yet, you got to start to... you don't have to panic a little, but you do it anyway.
But considering your earlier question, I do think that Files will complete both dungeons before Chauncey is done with the full clear right here.
Oh, that's true, because Ice Tea Room had one of the 3 items in it. That just takes unnecessarily long to do. All right, that's one of the 2 Eastern dungeons down on Files' side. Chauncey makes his way up into the right side of Ice Palace.
The Ice Age room, I guess.
You know, I never thought this room might have a name.
The Ice P? I have no idea. The Icy Alphabet Palace.
We were talking earlier, the upkeep on this place hasn't really They haven't really been doing much with it because look, there's cracks on the walls, holes in the floor everywhere, and just what are you doing, Ice Palace? Have some self-respect.
I don't think it's a big tourism spot, so they kind of they didn't want to invest too much in the upkeep. I mean, would you go on vacation to Antarctica?
I don't know. It'd be pretty neat to say you visited every continent. That's the only way you can do it.
That's very true.
I have a big coat. All right. So hopefully we'll be able to deal with this. The Ice S room. We're naming all these alphabet rooms now. The snaky room. The S is for sucks. You know.
It definitely does.
There we go.
I thought it stood for slippery, but that worked as well.
I'm glad both of our players took the right path here, which is rather than going back upstairs to just make your way back through this room. This is actually the faster route.
Yeah, and Chauncyjay will be making his way to Cold Stare. It should be a pretty straightforward fight with half magic, red mill, almost infinite hearts.
Not even bothering with, well, I guess we're still rocking that mushroom at this point.
Apparently I lied. It does look like Chauncyjay will finish Ice Palace before Files is done with EP.
I mean, it was close. It will be close.
I guess the big key location for Eastern Palace was a bit unfortunate, right?
Yeah. What was it, vanilla this
Yeah,
time?
it was vanilla, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's awful. Chauncyjay running out of magic is going to have to be a tiny bit careful here. I don't recall what was in that second bottle that they picked up.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, to be honest. But he should have enough of a health buffer to even take a few hits right there.
I mean, unfortunately, bees don't work these things. Oh, that's where it was. It's another bee. Two
The bee's
bees.
knees. All right. Well,
better. It was really close, huh?
Oh, I was right. Damn.
Gosh, the only thing about better than having one bee is having two bees.
Oh, you released one of them. All right. Well, after refilling a potion right there, it does look like we're about to head to the GT Big Key guessing game.
Ooh, that's right. So, Ganon's Tower Big Key can be in one of 22 chests inside Ganon's Tower. I'm sorry, 21 chests and burning on top of a torch. So if you would like, get your guesses into chat. Tell us which of those chests from 22 you think that big key is going to show up in. Now, I don't actually have the ability to run the bot here, but you will have my undying affection forever if you're right.
Which number would you go for personally?
Oh, that's a big question. I'm gonna go with a nice 6, I think, because a 6 is gonna end in right side if they go right side, or if they go left side. I think that ends up in that ends up in the skeleton room.
That's right. It should be the third chest in the skeleton room right now.
Yeah.
That's not a bad number. I would go for 14 personally. I just like 14 for
Oh,
some reason.
jeez.
I have no idea where that ends up though. I guess we'll have to keep count.
Unfortunately, Chauncey's doing a little bit more overworld before finally taking that turtle rock dip.
Yeah, I think he's going to exhaust all his options before he gets up there now.
I mean, it makes sense, but
It makes sense, but it feels bad. All I hope for is that he just does not want to enter swamp.
is that an immediate
that would-
trip to left side?
It sure looks like it. Maybe he's going for the Dark Magician strat.
Interesting. Maybe he thinks he's behind and thinks the Dark Magician's the way to go.
Considering his reaction to finding the mirror, that might not be the worst assumption to make, yeah.
Huh. All right, well, that's one. That's two. Those keys are not big enough. That's three,
Not
and
a
that is a...
problem. That's a nice bottle to get. Yeah, it does look like a Dark Magician. Wow.
Gosh.
I
Wouldn't it
have
be great
never
if you
seen
could
this.
jam together all four of those keys into one key? That's five.
There's 6. What? It's
No, I guess that's
not
seven.
really a key. Oh, right, it was 7.
Because torch.
Oops.
Okay. 7.
The torch just doesn't stand out to me, I guess.
7's that book that we were desperately hoping not to see before we got into Ganon's Tower.
Well, at least we know that Chauncey doesn't get trolled any more than he needed to.
Yeah.
Little reassuring thing, I suppose.
Okay, here we go. 8. Nope. 9 and 10 are courage, and so is 11.
All right. Oh, this is very interesting.
That is interesting. I was about to say that if it's in behind Ice Armos, you might be right, but
Well then,
I don't know what to think. Okay.
all right, on towards number 12.
No dice. All right, well, now if it's in random room, we've got a chance.
I'm crossing my fingers right here. Not even finding a sword yet either.
No. 13. First chest random room.
Whoa. I think Chauncey is actually going to TR right now.
Ooh. Finally making that play right off the cliff.
Taking a big leap right there.
14 is just a quarter.
So close. Couldn't you start from the top left files? Come on.
Who doesn't start from the top left?
I mean, I don't, but he should have. It doesn't look like anyone voted for 15, though.
2 chests, 2 swords in Swamp Palace.
There's still the 4 on the way to Ganon, or to Aga 2, I suppose. It does look like we might have to deal with a Master Sword Ganon.
The think at this point we've pretty much seen the entire world, so it's going to be in a dungeon somewhere, and unless it's in Bob's chest or behind Ice Armos, I think like there's as much chance of it being downstairs or upstairs or in Swamp Palace at this point. And who
Yeah, I'm not
knows?
sure if we checked all the mirror spots yet. I think Chauncey did not really
think-
go through those before heading up here.
Chauncey wound up getting pretty close. You check Cave 45.
Yeah.
Not sure about Graveyard Ledge, but I think everything else was checked.
Phil's making quick work of the gauntlet with the half magic and fire rod. That's definitely one of the big bonuses with having half magic at this point.
Yeah.
And on towards La Mola's too. One of them escaped his shots, but it does look like we have a clean 2 cycle right here. Oh, yeah, there we go. And I think Chelsea will not be too happy finding that rod right there.
Not nearly as visibly upset. Probably seething on the inside. Nice Wizrobe room. And that's the room I'm always the most terrified of, is dashing through that room, because that's the only one that you can't really prepare for. You can just be poked off the side of it and you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I'm not like 100% convinced it's all RNG, but sometimes it just feels like you can't do anything about them hitting you.
Yeah.
Okay, he is going for the quick checks for another sword upgrade.
Yeah, don't blame him.
All it is more money.
There's all that money he was looking for earlier. What a kick in the face. One last 2 chests. Come on. Just be nice for once in your life, Randomizer. Just do something nice for someone.
Oh,
Or do that. Just smash somebody into a corner with Moldorm. Jeez.
why you gotta be so rude?
Here's my guess. You want my guess on what's going to be that last chest? It's going to be powder. Just to be that much of a jerk about it.
Well, the game's the fool then, because we already saw what was on the magic bat.
Or it's going to be completely vanilla. Sure. Okay. I mean, unless Chauncey does full right side of Ganon's Tower for some odd reason, I don't think we're going to figure out where the rest of those swords are.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. We might just have to convince them to 100% the game for us.
Just to sate our curiosity.
It's a good cause.
Sure.
Nice. 4th cycle of Agatu. Now we're on to our final battle with the big pig.
And this is the fun part. Unfortunately, we never found that cape either, even though we found magic. Which is unfortunate because Cape certainly does make some of these phases of Ganon just a little bit easier when you've got Master Sword.
Yeah, the problem with the Cane of Brian is that it does not allow you to hold a spin charge. So you can only slash, and Master Sword slashes sadly do not do damage to Ganon.
Indeed.
Quickly drinking that pot after getting hit by the trident.
Taking a calculated hit to go down to a quarter heart. I'm going to guess it was calculated. Just
We're not going to assume blind panic right here.
no, I mean, this all seems fine.
Not getting the nicest location for Ganon to be. You'd love him to be on the top left or top right corner, so you can just stand behind him and give him a few double spins.
Yeah, taking that that one hit as well is kind of nice, because otherwise you're stuck with a whole bunch of lag from the sword beams.
Yeah.
Chauncey taking a death to Trinex.
Oh no.
Smashed in the face by that.
The bosses have simply been cruel today.
Yeah, not good.
Wow, that calculated spin though. He just went straight through the ring. And he entered phase 3. So just 4 more spins and we'll enter the last phase.
Ganon's being a little bit tricksy here. Yeah, it's unfortunate that the game has given them 2 bottles and decided to fill both of them with bees.
Bees are just slightly disfigured fairies.
Right? You should be able to eat a bee and it'll give you, some health.
Okay. File's just getting a second hit in. Playing it safe. It doesn't need to take any more risks. Falling after having such a long phase 1 and 2 would be really bad. And there's his last hit.
That is it.
And it looks like he finished the game in... Well, we don't see a timer here, but I assume it's around a time of 1:48:08 or something?
Yeah. We'll see.
So GG's to him.
GG's indeed. We're going to have to pull him in here to get hopefully some thoughts on that steaming pile of turds.
Chauncey does get through the first phase of Trinex this time. And then he'll be in GT soon enough.
Nicely cleaning up Trinex. We immediately hand it off to Ganon's Tower.
At least all the second fights have been really clean. That's nice.
Perhaps not. Yes, we might just see the race finishing up. But Files is already finished, and there's an entire Master Sword Ganon's Tower ahead.
Yeah, it must not be a nice feeling to have to climb all that.
Witch and more arrows. Yeah, that's a lot. All right. Well, looks like Files is going to be taking it for the first round here. You have pulled him in the commentary room here for a little bit of a chat about the ridiculous lead. With us? Maybe not yet.
Can you hear us, Files?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Man, I have this is the most tilted I think I've been in the middle of a seed in quite some time.
You certainly did seem to have quite a reaction to finding that mirror in pod.
Well, my internet went out in the middle of the race, so I had to run and go reset my router. So I was kind of, I was already tilted a little bit from that, and then by the time I got back, I was kind of shaky and I forgot to start my local record, and obviously my timer wasn't going, so all kinds of problems outside of the race. And then on top of that, the mirror in pod, oh man, that was just rough.
Yeah, I think of all the things that managed to troll anybody in this, that wound up being the biggest one. Although a couple other ones here, I think the one that wound up pretty much taking it for you was the gamble on Turtle Rock, heading in there to find well, I guess at that point you were probably still looking for the mirror?
I was actually. Everything about this seed was pointing toward Turtle Rock early, though, especially with Ether and Thieves Town and the game having given you Samaria and Mitts being in the kind of the same group of unlockable items before Turtle Rock. Like I was super close to going into Turtle Rock as soon as I got into as soon as I got up to Hookshot Cave and found the Mitts, but I was like, well, what if Mir is not in Turtle Rock and it's somewhere else and I can come back and do it all at once? But the mirror troll went deeper than I had guessed.
Yeah, I think at that point it wound up being that like you were either going to have to double dip Turtle Rock or double dip Palace of Darkness. It was going to be one of those two things.
My question is where were Flippers? Were they on like South of Haunted Grove?
No, they were in Desert Palace.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, the chain was a little bit. But honestly, that wound up being the thing because Chauncyjay wound up going into Palace of Darkness first, finding that mirror, and then everything else in the seed kind of played out normally for him, which meant that he was full clearing every single dungeon that he went into until finally getting into Turtle. So getting in there early was a massive help.
Seeing that bow on the top of Death Mountain mirror locked, I was like, okay, we're all the places that mirror can't be. And I dove into Ice Palace without the flippers or mirror, thinking, all right, well, what if flippers are somewhere? And then flippers is what logically led to mirror. Maybe I could just skip that part, but I ended up full clearing Ice Palace for no reason instead.
Yeah.
All in all, it was a... Oh, go ahead.
That's kind of the problem with the burden of knowledge in that case, right? Because the bow is locked behind the mirror, you really don't want to have to double dip pod in that case.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it turned out being 100% required. But yeah, I mean, pretty standard seed. I'm always amused that when I full clear a seed, I still end up having to Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, even though Chauncyjay did clear quite a bit of the world, even with the mirror, we never managed to find the Tempered Sword. So
no,
must have been further in GT or maybe in like Great Pyramid Ferry or something.
Yeah, we never entered Swamp, so it might be there as well. But yeah, there's not that many locations left where it could be.
Chauncyjay also wound up finishing off a whole bunch of overworld that you didn't, just by virtue of finding that mirror and not wanting to hop into Turtle Rock. So
oh yeah, I mean toward the end of that seed, I ended up clearing a lot of overworld anyway. In my last ditch, I don't want to go to pod without the mirror or bow mindset, but oh well.
Yeah, well, we're just seeing come up on the screen here, collection rate of 160, which is definitely an indicator of a very trolly seed. And there were a lot of How about that hook shot on the old man as well?
Yeah, that was. I went up there. I like doing the Death Mountain check when you only have like Old Man and the inside of Spectacle Rock, because at least it unlocks like the save and quit point there, so you're not wasting a ton of time. And then
Yeah.
sometimes things like this seed happen where the progression item is on one of those two spots, and then you're doing all right.
Right.
Yeah, it's too bad my opponent Chauncyjay was not able to finish the seed. It sounds like he had other places to go, and the troll seed timing ended up pushing him out, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah, he was about to enter Ganon's tower after finishing through the rock.
I was yeah, he had to have been pretty close to right behind me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about a Ganon's tower, indeed.
Yeah. No, just the number of the sheer number of trolley item locations was kind of pushed this seed, I think, a lot further than it would have had to be otherwise.
Yeah, but considering the amount of items that you guys checked, you still had really good pace. But that is probably part due to being having the boots pretty early, right? That did help.
Yeah, that was nice. I saw that it was either the first or second item after getting damaged on the drop table was bombs. So I wanted to have 3 bombs coming out of escape, but I kept messing up the cane placement. The new standard is fun. It really makes the beginning of the seed a little bit more varied.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it sure already shows some different early strats, so that's nice.
Yeah. I think if this would have been a faster seed for me if I hadn't had to run reset routers and get all tilted over that. But in the end, it still worked out, I guess.
Yeah.
You definitely had good pace throughout the run. Just a few. Yeah, the bosses were not being nice to either of you, but aside from that, your execution certainly showed.
Excellent. Well, thank you for commenting, gentlemen. I'm going to head out.
All right. Well, congratulations on your good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I guess that's probably going to be it for us. Definitely give these 2 runners a follow if you enjoyed what you saw. Post the link in the chat here, like that. And there is just endless amounts of randomizer content coming around on here. We've got this is a 512 person race, or 512 person tournament. Yeah, like someone says, 3 races literally just back to back. So I haven't pulled up the schedule, but sure you can go to. Don't we have a command for the schedule to pop that in here? Maybe not.
I'm not sure about that, indeed, but at least if there is something to binge
There it
watch
is.
the coming few weeks, it's definitely linked to the past randomizer. There's just plenty.
There we go. That's that schedule. So yeah, there were probably half a dozen races going on currently here, and then this is exactly the time that this would go slowly for us. We're gonna hop out here and watch another one of these. Go check out the rest of these channels if you like. Give these people a follow if you like. They put on a wonderful show for us. I am Fentalis. My co-commentator Arier is here as well. You all have a lovely day.
Goodbye, guys. Have a good day.